is Renee Engmeyer. Today we're going to do a beginner intermediate Vinyasa flow, and I'm going to offer modifications and variations to make things one level or another. And today I just want to focus on the idea of ease, releasing tension, connecting to the breath and the body, and sort of allowing the weight to literally fall off of our shoulders. A lot of us hold tension there. It's a tough time of year, and it's a particularly tough year. So thinking about how we can still be strong, still be powerful, still be engaged in our body, and yet be easy and calm and relaxed at the same time. I do have 2 yoga blocks with me today for such modifications as they're necessary. I'm going to sit on one right now. So we're just going to find a comfortable seat. I am a little more comfortable seated on top of a block myself. So whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just going to sit here and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And just maybe close your eyes if that feels good for you. And don't really do anything. And just sit here and breathe and notice your breath. Notice how it feels. Notice your body. Feel if you're holding tension anywhere or everywhere. And that's okay. Just keep breathing. And as you breathe, pay attention now, a little more attuned to what your breath is doing. Where do you feel it? Is it sort of stuck in your throat? Maybe you can breathe a little deeper. Feel the lungs fill up. Maybe your rib cage widens and expands. Maybe you can feel the backside of your rib cage widen and expand, so that breath is filling up all parts of the lungs. Maybe feeling it down into the belly. Maybe there's a little audible quality to the breath, a little constriction in the back of the throat. And let's actively try to slow down that breath. Try 3 seconds in, and 3 seconds to exhale. Maybe you can do 4 seconds in, and 4 seconds back out. Maybe you can do more, maybe not. Whatever is sort of the deepest, longest breath you can breathe in. Take a little pause when you get to the top. And then the deepest, longest time you can spend to blow it back out. And continue breathing like that. Just imagine your shoulders sort of melting down away from your ears. Take one more nice breath in, and let's open the mouth and sigh it out. Start with a simple head roll, tipping the head to the side, rolling around. Nice and easy, not dropping the head to the back. Maybe not your biggest circle ever. And let's go the other direction. Just sort of moving the neck, seeing how it feels. All just seeing how everything feels. Continuing to breathe, roll the shoulders up and back. Let's do 2 and 1, and let's go the other direction. Up and forward. I'm going to take my left hand over to my right knee, a little rotation to the right, thinking about lifting through the spine. Again, just this lightness, trying to lift and twist. And I'm going to switch over to the other direction, breathing. sending it back to center. I'm gonna do a little chin nod, a little bow to the front. I'm bending my upper back, not a lot, just a little, just for the rib cage moving. And then lifting the chest, heart to the sky, the gaze up without fully dropping the head back. And then come back to center. I'm gonna switch the leg in front, switch the cross of the legs. And I'm gonna start with a head roll again. Going the other direction first. Nice and easy. Maybe it's a little bigger, maybe not. Always mindful to be gentle with the neck. Nothing too dramatic. See how it feels. See how the shoulders are feeling today. Take a breath in. Let's roll the shoulders back for 2 and 1, and go the other direction for 2 and 1. I'll start twisting right hand to left knee, lifting, rising out of the hips, lengthening through the spine and the waist. Exhale, unwind, take a breath in, go the other way. And unwinding to the front, and again, just a small nod, upper head, neck, chest, back, rib cage, pull it up, sit up nice and tall, and lifting the heart to the sky. And then coming back to center. I'm going to move on to my hands and knees. Set the block aside for a moment. I'm going to set myself up so that my shoulders are right over my wrists and my hips are right over my knees, or tabletop position. And I'm going to take a couple of cat-cows here. With a breath in, I'm going to pull the shoulder blades down my back. I'm going to lengthen my spine as I send my heart forward, my tail up, my head up without really dumping it up. I'm not trying to stick my head up as far as I can. I'm going to tuck my tail under, pull my belly button in. I'm going to round my back, and I'm looking down at my thighs, increasing all the curves I can in my back. And I'm going to repeat, inhaling, sending the shoulder blades down, sending the head and tail away from each other. So I'm thinking about length here, not bending in half at my back. Pulling the belly button in, rounding, like I'm scooping my head and tail towards each other, trying to curve the back as much as I can, pulling the shoulder blades down, lengthening the heart through the hands. Breath in, and then exhale. And then I'm going to settle back into my neutral or flat back here. And I'm going to do just a couple of rocks back and forth, sending a little energy forward into my shoulders and wrists, and then back into my hips. Nice, strong, wide hands here. Careful that you're not allowing any sinking or dropping in the chest. I'm pressing up into my shoulders and lengthening through the shoulder joint. Again, strong and powerful, but I'm not tense in my neck. I'm putting the work down underneath the armpits, if you will. Good. I'm going to tuck my toes under and do a couple more. Just sort of stretch out the feet, the ankles, the toes. Use these joints a lot in yoga. Next time I go back, I'm going to send my glutes towards my heels. I'm just going to hover my knees off the ground just a little bit, just about an inch off the mat. I'm going to set them back down gently, rock forward. I'm going to do it one more time, really pulling that belly button up into the spine, hovering the knees, firing up into that core, and forward. And then I'm going to stop with my shoulders over my hands, my hips over my knees. This one's a little harder. And again, I'm going to pull that belly button in, power through my shoulders, and I'm going to hover my knees off the ground here, just really engaging the core, pulling that belly button up and in, and then releasing it back down. One more time, really pull the belly up, strong through the shoulders, long neck, looking out over the fingertips, pulling the belly button up, hovering the knees if you can. If they don't come up, that's okay, just think about it. I'm going to do that one more time. Belly button lifts, hover the knees, and then I'm going to send my hips to the sky, press back towards my feet, and take a down dog. In our down dog, we're trying to send the tail up, like your sits bones are reaching back to the wall behind you. Again, energizing through the shoulders. They're not relaxed. It's a very
Powerful position in the shoulders here, but they're not all tensed up around my ears. I'm thinking about length between the ears and the shoulders, ears between the biceps. I'm looking down at my feet, and I'm aiming my heels towards the floor, not necessarily getting there. And a little bend in the knees if you need it. Thinking about that long line of the back of the leg, long line through the spine, energy through the hands, ease in the neck. And I'm going to tread my feet a couple of times, stretching out the calves. And then I'm gently going to start tiptoeing my feet, little baby steps towards the hands. And I'm going to end up in a forward fold. I'm going to bend my knees a lot. I'm going to take a nice hang here. Hang the head, hang the neck, hang the shoulders. Just let it all fall to the earth. You can grab onto opposite elbows for a ragdoll here. Again, I have my legs bent so much that my belly is essentially resting on my thighs. I'm thinking about the length of the back here more than trying to get into a big hamstring stretch. Sending my tail out and back towards the back wall, back of the mat. Maybe a little sway if it feels good to you. And then I'm going to place my hands back down on the ground. And I'm going to roll up. I'm going to tuck my tail under. I'm going to pull my belly button in. I'm going to let my head and arms be very heavy. And I'm going to roll up nice and slow. One time. Good. I'm just going to step forward a little bit so I have a little bit more room. Let's turn the palms forward. Gaze straight ahead. And just feel our first time standing. Feel all four corners of the foot into the ground. Shoulder blades rolling down and back, collarbone nice and wide. Take a breath in. And let's sweep the arms up. Shoulders down, strong through the legs. I'm going to cactus my arms here. I'm going to pull my elbows up and I'm going to lift my heart to the sky. Like I'm trying to pull my elbows towards each other behind my back. I'm not throwing my head back. I'm just lifting my gaze, lifting my heart. I'm going to send my arms back up and then hands to heart center. And just stand here and breathe for a moment. Maybe close the eyes. Appreciating our body and what it's about to do and being considerate with it and giving it what it needs. Let's take some sun salutations. We're going to lift the arms up, take a breath in, dive over, bending the knees, all you need to, hands to the floor. Breathe in. Your hands can come to your shins or stay on the floor as you lengthen out to a halfway lift. Nice long spine, shoulders peeling back, and fold it forward again. Hands to the floor. I'm going to step back and I'm going to put my knees down for my first version. And I'm going to lay all the way on the stomach, untuck the toes, hands by the rib cage, shoulder blades down and back. Squeeze those glutes, a little tuck on the tail. And I'm going to lift up into a nice small cobra. If you feel like you can do more right off the bat and want to press up higher, please go ahead. I'm going to lower it back down again. I'm going to push back onto my knees for my first version. I'm going to tuck those toes under, send my hips up, and take it to my down dog. Energy through the shoulders, pulling the belly button up, tail back, sending the heels downward. Rising up on the toes. And again, I'm going to walk in for my first version. I'm going to lengthen up into my halfway lift. Take a breath in. Exhale it back down. Send those heels down. Sweeping the arms up. And taking the hands to heart center. Good. Inhale. Take a breath in. Sweep the arms up. Exhale. Fold forward. Take a breath in, lifting to halfway. Now you can continue to go through the knee position, or if you'd like to step back into a full plank, that's high plank, fair, or the knees can come down now to lower down. untucking the toes, shoulder blades down, pressing up into the cobra. Length through the neck. I'm not jutting my chin forward. Strong through the back. Energized through the hands. Energized through the glutes. Lots of work in the legs. Maybe the thighs are lifting a little. And then from here you can press right up into your plank or put those knees back down and go through that kneel position, tabletop position, taking it back into the down dog, breathing in and out. Maybe tiptoeing forward, maybe taking bigger steps. Maybe you're ready to hop or jump forward. I'll do that on the last version. Breath in and lengthen. Inhale, flat back, and lower it back down, sending those heels to the floor, rising up. Tall and strong, shoulders down, hands to heart center, breathe in. And again, we sweep the arms up. Inhale, take a breath in. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. So as we progress through these vinyasas, you can jump back into chaturanga, that bent elbow plank position. Lower it down, untuck the toes, press and lengthen up into the full up dog with only the feet and hands on the floor, or going back to any one of the modifications I demonstrated earlier. I'll probably sort of cycle through a couple of them as we go, just to A, remind the choices, and B, maybe just for myself, my body, whatever it's needing. I'm going to lift my right leg up behind me. My right toes are pointing down towards the floor, my right hip bone trying to soften towards the floor. Again, shoulders strong. I'm going to bend that knee. I'm going to pull it into my nose. I'm rounding my back here. I'm going to send it back up, lengthen it. It's not super high. I am trying to keep the hip bones square. I'm going to do it one more time, pulling that knee in. I'm going to lengthen it back up. And on my next time forward, I'm going to step that foot in between my hands. I'm going to turn my back foot out 45 degrees. I'm going to drive down into that heel. I'm going to engage my right glute. And I'm going to sweep my arms up into a warrior one. And again, this idea that I'm letting my shoulders melt down. My legs are super firm, super strong. Driving the back edge of my left foot down, length through the thigh, pulling the right hip back, the left hip forward. Reaching the arms to the sky, but letting the shoulders fall down. Big breath in and out. Let's cactus the arms one more time here, heart to the sky, lifting the chest, elbows pulling back. Wide collarbone, open heart, lift the arms back up, and we'll fold it forward, frame that foot. Turn the back leg, step it back into the high plank, and vinyasa or not. So again, you could always put the knees down. You could take it to a cobra or press and lengthen up to a full up dog. And then sending the hips back, down dog. I'm going to lift my left leg up, toes and knee parallel, hip bone all trying to point down towards the floor, pulling the knee to the nose, rounding the back, and lengthening it back up again, strong through the shoulders. Pulling it in, belly button pulls up, rounding the back, just sort of getting ready for that big step forward, pulling the knee in, setting the foot down, rotating the back leg, strong through the bottom body, lift and light, up through the upper body, shoulders down. Thinking about trying to pull the right side of my body forward as the left side pulls back, really trying to square my chest, my shoulders. I'm going to cactus those arms, lifting the heart to the sky, belly button up. Thinking always about lifting, not sinking. And I'm going to fold it forward. Turn that back leg back, parallel or straight, back to my plank position. Lower the knees if you need to. Cobra or up dog. And then hips lift. Now you could always skip the vinyasa entirely. You can just meet in your down dog at any time. You can also stop and take a child's pose whenever you need to. Right leg lifts, nose to knee. I'm gonna step my foot in between my hands. I'm gonna rotate that back leg, drive through my legs, energize my glutes, my thighs, shoulders up, breath in and out. Let's take one more breath in and out. And then I'm going to open my chest and my hips out for my warrior two. And you can elongate that stance if you need to, adjust your legs as needed. Energy through the outside of that back foot. That's my left pinky side of my blade foot. Pressing into the ground, lengthening through the thigh. That front knee, aiming over the toes. Make sure you have it rolled in on it. Shoulder blades down. Energy through the fingers. So long here. Breathing in and out, really thinking about head, chest, and hips stacked right over each other. So I create my firmness and my strength. And I can just breathe and ease into my upper body. I'm gonna windmill my arms down around that front foot, turn the back foot in, step it down, and move. Or meet in down dog. Left leg lifts, that's a breath in. And then exhale, pull that nose to my knees, step that foot down, turning that back foot out, driving through the legs. Shoulders down, breath in. Opening the arms out to the side, warrior two. So I have opened my hips, my shoulders, my chest. Careful that this front knee points over the toes. And I have the knee over the ankle. I'm not bending that knee super far over the foot. Nice, strong, stable line there. Energy down, pulling up through the belly and core and lifting and taking a breath in here. And out. Send those shoulders down. Energize through the fingers. Middle finger to middle finger, just as long as it can be. Eyes forward. And windmilling the arms down. Sending that leg back. Lowering the knees if you need. Taking cobra if you prefer to the up dog. Hips rise. Good. Should have mentioned it sooner, that these blocks can always be used if you need to. Let's say, inhale, right leg up, to step that foot forward. It's easier to fit. Those blocks are something you can always use to make that position a little more attainable. Shoulders down, rotating the ribcage forward, chest forward, strong through the glutes. Opening up to my warrior two. Shoulders down, neck long. Continuing to breathe. If you do anything, just breathe. I'm going to reverse my warrior. I'm going to flip my front palm, and I'm going to follow it as that arm rises up. My gaze is up. Length through the shoulder, sliding that back arm down my back leg. Again, just imagining my neck as long as it can be. Imagining this distance here between my hip bone and my rib cage as long as it can be. And once again, windmilling all the way back down. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe out. Inhale, sending the left leg up, pulling that belly button in, curving that back, rounding the spine, stepping the foot forward, opening the right leg out. Drive down through the legs. Oh, watch out for the furniture. Lifting the arms up, breath in. Opening the arms, opening the hips. In my warrior two. Length through the fingers, length through the neck. Breathing in. I'm going to flip that front palm up. I'm going to send my back arm down my leg. That idea of lengthening that shoulder down. My gaze is up. Trying to keep my collarbone wide.
distance between that rib and that hip, really lengthening through the waist. And then I'm just gonna windmill right out of it. Turn the back leg back down. And continue through my flow. Heels up, tail back, shoulders down. Maybe a big sigh if you need it. Inhale, leg lifts. Nose to knee, step it through, turning that back foot out. Strong legs, light arms and back. Inhale. Opening out, warrior two. Reverse that warrior. Lifting, gazing up, long. And I'm gonna take it over for a side angle. My right forearm going to my right knee. And I'm gonna lengthen my left arm overhead. Now, careful, we haven't collapsed into that bottom arm, energizing the shoulder. Length from my left fingertips all the way down the side of the body, down through the outside of my left foot. If it feels good to you, maybe you can look up underneath that left arm. You could look forward, or you could look down. Do whatever feels right for your neck. Pull the belly, pull the belly up and in. Again, firm through the legs. Constantly thinking about this length. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to pass through warrior two, right back to my reverse warrior. And again, bring it down. Inhale it up. Squeeze strong through the glutes. Shoulders down the back, hips to the sky. Take a breath in. And blow it all out. Breath in, lift that leg. Exhale, pull that nose to the knee. Foot steps down, back leg turns out. Strong through the base. Light through the top. Inhale, reaching fingertips to sky. Open out, warrior two. Good, reversing the warrior, flip the palm, reach, lift. Shoulders melting down. And then I'm taking it to the side angle. Forearm to thigh, energy through the bottom armpit, sweeping the top arm overhead. Thinking about the chest, the hip bones, the gaze all forward, maybe up, maybe down. But I'm thinking about rotating my rib cage. I'm thinking about maximum length, fingertips down to the outside edge of my foot. I'm gonna come back up, pass by warrior two to reverse it. And then rotate it all down. And we'll take a vinyasa. Squeeze and lift. And take it up. Right leg lifts with an inhale. Pulling that knee to the nose, step it down. Back leg out, rise up. Exhale, opening out to warrior two. Good, again, paying attention to that front knee. Driving through that back leg, reverse your warrior. Take a breath in, lengthen through here. Side angle, sweeping that top arm over. Rotating the ribs to the front. Engaging that bottom shoulder so there's no collapsing. Everything's long. I'm going to come back through warrior and repeat my reverse warrior. Reverse it. Back to warrior two. I'm going to straighten out my front leg. I'm going to reach my front arm forward. Now again, here's a great place for a block. Or you could be on your ankle, shin, the floor, any one of these places for our triangle pose. And again, I'm thinking, imagine someone's pulling your fingertips up to the ceiling. So I'm long, the shoulders are
melting away from my ears. My energy is going out my head, the top of my head, so I have this very long line through my neck. Certainly if you need to bend that front leg or use the block, do whatever feels best for you. Gazing up if it's possible for you, or forward, or sort of down at that hand is going to be the easiest choice for most of us. You know, depends on our bodies. What is the easiest? What feels right? Strong glute, long line here. I'm going to bend my front leg, drive down through the earth to come back to my warrior two. Take it down. Breathe it in, shoulders down the back, and send those hips up. Left leg lifts. That's my breath in. Pull the nose to the knee, step it down, rotate that back leg, drop that back heel, and rise up. Shoulders down, breath in. Open it out. Warrior two. And reverse my warrior, length through every line I can get. And taking it down. Moving it over to my side angle, rotating, thinking about squaring the chest, the hips, the shoulders, everything to the side. Breath in. I'm going to windmill back up through warrior, reversing the warrior. And now I'm going to lengthen out my front leg, reaching that left arm forward, maybe shin, maybe to the floor, maybe to a block, maybe a little bend in the knee for a triangle pose. Pulling in the belly, pulling that left rib forward, that right rib back, a spiraling motion, reaching like someone's pulling my fingertips to the ceiling, but I'm also strong through that bottom arm, trying to keep ease in my neck, maybe forward with the gaze or down. Energy through all the lines in every direction. Feet down, pressing both down and lifting away from the floor because I'm lifting up through that top arm. I'm going to bend my front leg. Back up to warrior two. And then down for my vinyasa. Again, skip vinyasa at any time. Meet in a down dog. Or take child's pose and just breathe. At any time, shoulders down the back. Breath in, right leg lifts. Pull it in, nose to knee, stepping that foot down, turning that back leg out. Rising up, breath in. Shoulders melt and out. Take a breath in, open it to your warrior two. Breath in, flip that palm, reach, gaze up. And take it over for your side angle. Rotate the chest, reach and lengthen, breath in. Coming back up, repeat the reverse. And back to warrior two. Float that front leg straight, float that front arm forward, and taking it down to our triangle pose. Now, if this is enough, if triangle pose is enough and you don't want to move on to half moon, you don't have to, of course. You can just stay here. You can take your block and set it down in front of you for a little bit of assistance in any direction that you need. I'm going to bend my front leg a lot. I'm going to launch my weight, ooh, I'm falling, onto my front leg. Again, a great chance to use that block if you need it or not. So my hips are rotated to the side, pulling the belly in, pulling the shoulder blades down the back, strong through the bottom glute, strong through the bottom hand. Again, reaching that top arm like someone's pulling it to the sky, like someone's pulling my left leg towards the back wall. The gaze, maybe up, maybe forward, maybe down at your right hand. Oh, enjoy wiggling. It's all part of the process. Good. I'm going to bend that front leg a lot. I'm going to take a nice wide step back, and I'm going to push myself back up into my warrior two. And I'm going to windmill it down. And I'm going to vinyasa down. And down, down, down. Let's take a breath in and out here. Strong shoulders, sending the heels down, the hips up. Breath in, left leg lifts. Pull that nose to the knee. Turning that back leg out. Rising up. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breath in. Open it side. Breathe in. Reverse that warrior. And exhale. Side angle. Rotate. Gaze up if you can. Strong through the glutes. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to reverse that warrior again. Lengthen through the front leg. Reaching through the front fingertips. Triangle pose. Hips are rotating open to the side. Chest is spiraling. Gaze is wherever you need it to be. Breath in and out. Again, feel free to use the block. Eyes in front of your foot. Bend that leg. Move that hand forward. And lengthen up into our half moon. My upper leg is turned out. Rotated open. Careful. Power through the bottom arm, bottom leg. And again, thinking about reaching those fingertips up. Whee! Maybe I'll keep gazing down here. I'm going to bend that front leg. Nice big step back to my warrior two. And windmilling it down. And taking a vinyasa. And taking it up. Down dog. Let's take 3 big breaths here. Breath in. And out. I'm going to rise up on the toes. I'm just going to bend my knees and sink them to the floor gently. I'm going to untuck my toes and I'm going to sit back into a child's pose. Your knees can be together or open. Whatever you find works for you. Let's go back to the breath. See if you can slow it down. Think about dropping the hips towards the heels. Allow that forehead to sort of melt down into the floor. Maybe it feels good to roll it side to side a little bit. Let's take another round of breath here. And then I'm going to walk my hands over to the right. Giving my spine a little C curve over to the right. Adding length to the lower left side, the low left back. And then I'll walk my arms over to the other side. Giving length to the lower right side body. I'm going to bring it back into center. And if it feels good to you, maybe take the arms down by your side. Thinking about just sort of melting onto your thighs. If it feels good, sinking into the floor here. hands to the floor. And I'm going to roll myself all the way up. And I'm going to move on to my seat. You want to make sure you have room behind you eventually to roll down. For now, I'm going to take my legs out straight in front of me. I'm going to put my hands on my shins, and I'm going to try to lengthen my spine, sit up nice and tall, and I'm going to tip forward, sort of like that halfway lift that we do. Long spine, chest forward, and then I'm going to round over the legs. Curve and bend and stretch. Stretch the back, stretch the hamstrings. And again, I'm going to take my hands to my shins and I'm going to lengthen out my spine long as I can. Long back, shoulders down, breath in. And I'm going to fold forward again, exhale. And stack it up, bend the knees. Maybe scoot forward if you need to, grab behind the knees and roll it all the way down. I'm just going to rock my knees from side to side a little bit, little windshield wiper action here. Just release the hips, release the back. Good. I'm going to plant my feet on the ground, arms by my sides. I'm going to squeeze the glutes and press those hips up into a bridge position. Making sure that I'm not popping the belly out on top. Lengthening through the front body here, really squeezing through the back side. My ribs are tight, my waist is tight. Maybe you can clasp your hands behind your back, heart to the sky. Easy in the neck, not jamming the chin down, chin down. Let's take another round of breath in and out. Release the hands. I'm going to soften at my chest. I'm going to tuck and roll all the way down. Release at the bottom. And we're going to just do another little windshield wiper action, dropping the knees from side to side. Come back into the center, ground those feet, drive those hips up. Squeezing through the back side, lengthening through the front side. Long front body, really tight in the core. Again, maybe grabbing those hands, rolling those shoulders under, chest wide. Gazing straight up without pulling the chin down. Just on the shoulders, not up into the neck. Releasing the hands, tucking the tail, curling, rolling down. And then let's hug those knees into the chest. And just take a moment here and do what feels good. Maybe a little rock from side to side. Maybe you like to circle the knees around, circle the thighs together or separately. Anything that feels good in your body. I'm going to hug my right knee in. I'm going to let my left leg fall down to the floor. Circle out that ankle here. And I'm going to cross that over my body. I've got my left hand pressing down on top of my right thigh gently, and my right arm's going to open to the side. I'm going to follow it with my gaze for a twisting of the spine, thinking about sinking that shoulder to the floor. Don't force it. Just a nice easy stretch. Breathing in and out. One more time. I'm going to pull that leg back into the middle. I'm going to lengthen it up for a hamstring stretch, either grabbing behind the thigh or maybe you could be up at the calf or the ankle. Avoid the back of the knee, but just lengthen it up. A little hamstring stretch here. Good. Again, easy in the shoulders. Make sure you're not tensing up now. We're just trying to get a big stretch in. opening that leg out to the side. Think about the opposition of pulling the other hip back, lengthening through that inner thigh and hamstring. And bring it back into the middle. I'm going to bend my bottom leg. I'm going to put my right ankle on top of my left knee, grabbing onto that bottom thigh for a figure 4 stretch. You can use that right elbow to push that right knee open if you need a little more stretch here. You can bend those elbows, pull that knee closer if you need to, that bottom leg. Good, and then I'm going to unwind, go back to hugging both knees in. Maybe rock and sway or circle the thighs. I'm going to let my right leg go. I'm hugging my left knee in. Circle the ankle a couple of times. I'm going to cross that knee over. Gentle pressure with the right hand on top. Left arm goes out to the side. Gently thinking of releasing the left shoulder towards the floor, while the left knee goes across to the floor, without actually trying to force either. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back into center. Grabbing behind the leg and lengthening it up for your hamstring stretch. Taking that leg out to the side, opposite hip folding down. Stretching through that inner thigh, hamstring. And bring it on home. I'm going to bend my bottom leg. I'm going to put my ankle on top. I'm going to grab onto that bottom thigh for our figure 4 stretch. Release it. I'm going to hug both knees in one last time. I'm going to send both legs straight up to the ceiling. Just sort of let the blood flow the other way. Just relax and breathe. It's okay if the legs aren't totally straight. Tail drops, shoulders drop. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to reach my hands for the outside edges of my foot. I'm going to pull the knees towards the armpits, kicking the feet to the sky for a happy baby. Think about trying to send the tail downward. The knees simultaneously pulling down, but the feet kicking up. Again, watch out for the neck, the shoulders. Easy up there. Let's take another round of breath in and out. I'm going to bring my legs together, bottoms of the feet together, feet down to the earth, and just allow the knees to fall open. Allow a stretch in the front of the hip. Maybe hands on thighs if you want to encourage it a little bit more, down by your sides. Big full breath in and out. Once more. my hands to close the thighs back up. One last little swivel of the hips and knees. And then I'm going to lengthen my legs out long. Make any adjustments you need to. Feel free to prop up your knees or your head or cover yourself in a blanket. Sort of wiggle out any energy that's buzzing around. Allow the legs to roll open. Let's flip the palms up to receive. And just think about melting into the floor here. Close the eyes if you can or want. And bring it back around to breathing. And just think of that idea again of melting, shoulders melting away from the ears, maybe shoulders melting into the earth. Allowing the body to be heavy so it's free of tension. Just all loose into the floor. The space between your eyebrows relax and the jaw. And just breathe nice and slow and deep to whatever count feels right for your body right now. And start to come back around. Start to put some life into your hands and feet. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Move your mouth or start to move your face again. Start to wiggle and roll and move through the arms and legs. Lengthen the arms overhead. Stretch the legs out long for a big good morning or a good afternoon or a good evening stretch, whenever it is for you. And roll over onto one side. And just take a moment in your fetal position. And then press yourself up to a seated position. And sit comfortably again. Sitting up tall and long.
those shoulders just roll back. Length through the spine, length through the waist. And let's take our hands into heart center. And think about the ease, hopefully in the shoulders and in the breath, and try to take it with you. As always, if anything, just try to breathe. Slow it down. Be light, be well. We'll bow our head, and with that, namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. Hope to see you again. Bye.